ever tell you about Mr. Nobody visiting the toy castle? It was the first day of spring, and Little Mouse had made his very first kite. He couldn't wait to see it fly. It was ready for a test flight. Gorgonzola and Gouda! Who made all this mess? The ballerina was planting her spring garden. He was trying as hard as he could, but the kite wouldn't fly. He wasn't watching where he was going at all. That's when it happened. He didn't mean to. He didn't even see the plants. What a mess.
Who made this mess?
Had Little Mouse seen who had knocked over all her pots? Mr. Nobody was in the castle? Oh, no. That was bad news indeed. Mr. Nobody always made a terrible mess. Never ever said he was sorry, and never ever cleaned up.
What you looking for?
She whispered. She was looking for Mr. Nobody, and he was very hard to find. It was clear to the ballerina that it was indeed Mr. Nobody, and they better find him fast, or he'd make more messes.
To catch Mr. Nobody, we need a broom and dustpan. Can you get that for me fast?
She was so glad to see him. Someone had been in their house and made a terrible mess. Uh-oh. He hadn't even noticed all the mess he'd left before. Mother Mouse wanted to know if he had any idea who made this mess.
Mr. Nobody.
Mr. Nobody was in the castle? Oh, no! That was bad news indeed. Mr. Nobody always made a terrible mess, never ever said he was sorry, and never ever cleaned up. He told her Mr. Nobody had been upstairs and left a mess there too. But he was going to catch Mr. Nobody. If only he could find a broom and a dustpan.
Yeah!
He thanked his mother, promising he would return. He didn't know where the ballerina was. Ugh, what a mess. He didn't know how she thought they were going to catch Mr. Nobody with a broom and a dustpan. But the worst part was, she really believed his story about Mr. Nobody. Now what was he gonna do? He could clean up the mess. Little Mouse had done a really good job.
Little Mouse! Oh my! It is all cleaned up. Did you do that?
Little Mouse described how Mr. Nobody came back, ready to make another mess. But Little Mouse said no. And they wrestled until Mr. Nobody said he was sorry and cleaned it all up. Little Mouse had been brave to make Mr. Nobody say he was sorry and clean it all up. His mother. He promised he'd return. If he worked fast, he could get all the mess here cleaned up too.
just might do the right thing, so I baked a cheesecake just for Mr. Nobody.
Oh no, there was no Mr. Nobody. It was him, Little Mouse. He thought, and he thought.
Oh, Mr. Nobody is really me, and both of us are sorry as we can be.
That was the last time Mr. Nobody visited the toy castle. From then on, Little Mouse tried really hard to clean up his own messes. Oh, and by the way, they never did get the kite to fly. They had to wait for a wind. But that's another story.
Subscribe to the Toy Castle and make sure to click on the notification bell to find out first when new videos are posted.